So I shouldn't be home too late tonight. You wait up for me, yeah?
All right. So, Don Carter has been talking about how his family has been killed by, I guess gang members and they was caught in a shootout, right? Now, seeing how what he did to Kamal, right? It does make us wonder, is that even really true about his whole family situation? Because I mean, everybody has like their own way of turning, and then we get to see like more story development from certain characters and how they became that the way that they are, like Kanan from like Raising Kanan, and we're starting to see more of that where he went from a kid who, I mean, it was there, but it wasn't like fully developed into. We got to see like more of it from like the first season, the second season, and then the third season. We got to see more of a development from him. It was like, okay, he's starting to change and he's starting to morph into becoming that person that we all know him to be. But here's the thing: sometimes that side of a person can always be there without a turn or a change. And when you look at Carter, we don't know if it was precisely because of his family that got killed that made him like a dirty cop and made him that way, or was he already dirty in the beginning? Because it's like, again, like he killed Kamal, and we don't know if there was anybody else that he also got rid of for his own false sense of justice. Because it's like you got guys like that who believes that they're doing the right thing, but ultimately they are doing the wrong things, but it's for their right reasons. But ultimately it's still wrong at the end of the day, because if you're working with criminals and you know those said criminals is murdering other people, then you're just as bad as the criminal. So it makes me wonder too, that did he actually kill his own family? Like did he precisely maybe killed his wife, or maybe did his wife find out about like something that he did, and then maybe he didn't know how to handle it correctly, so he just set the whole thing up and said, oh yeah, the family got killed by a street gang, right? The street gang basically took out his family, and that's what he said. Because we've seen what he's done with Rashard Tate and how he covered it up, even though his lies is starting to like fall apart. Because Nico was already like, I think still is gonna be the one to be like, I think you probably killed Kamal. Because Nico was already saying that, yeah, Kamal was still like a good cop, despite Kamal not, they didn't like Kamal, but ultimately he still was like a good cop. And it's like with Carter and his whole sense of justice and wanting to like do the right thing, it just makes us wonder like how many other people that he actually killed to get in his way. Because again, he had this whole vindictive against like James St. Patrick, and how he didn't have like a rules, he didn't follow the rules, he didn't have like a code. But it just makes us wonder, like, is Don Carter also a hypocrite? Is he a hypocrite too? Because it seems like he doesn't have like a code or any morals either. And it's like, if he's willing to go down this path of getting rid of anybody that he deems unworthy or doesn't really go along with what he says, then was there any other people that was also working with him that he also made disappear and made missing, right? Because it's like, you see the task force is like, it's a very few people that's on the task force that's really working with him. And comparing to like uh old task force in the past, there was like a lot of people that was there, and you know they had to go away for reasons, and because their plans of trying to bring down people back in the days, like a Ghost and a Tommy and anybody else that was there, ultimately failed. So it's like Carter is just like one big mystery. Now, again, I've already said that it's sort of sad because we're not going to really get that much into the story for Don Carter, because seeing how I think we only got like what, two more episodes, I think, to go, like two more episodes to go. So we're not going to probably get that much into it, as much as I would want more information about, like, okay, like his family. Hopefully we get to see maybe, I don't know, like a picture or something of like, okay, what did his family look like and who was his family that he keeps talking about that actually got killed. And I'm gonna lean on that maybe he probably did have something to do with their murder, or maybe he probably feels guilty that maybe there was people that he was going after back in the days was those same people that maybe killed his family, right? Because I don't want this to be like a an unopened question. Now from Power Origins, we will get to see, like, James St. Patrick's father, right? We're gonna get to see his dad and everything. So I just kind of didn't want it to be almost like that, because if we didn't get like a Power Origins, then it would have been like the same thing where it's like, oh, we're getting stuff that happened to his family, but we don't get to see what his family looks like or any of that. But we're gonna get to see most of that in Power Origins on Ghost's side of the family. But for Carter's half, it's like, I don't think we're gonna probably get that. I think it's just gonna be like, oh, his family was murdered by a street gang, and that's the end of that. But again, I still want to know more deeply, and like more into the character and more deeply into the psyche of the character, because it's like Don Carter, it seems like he probably, like, my gut is telling me that he probably killed his family, because when we see in the episode where he was like, talking, like, oh yeah, I think her name is Denise or something. I think he was just like, oh, I miss you, and it was just basically talking. So I'm like, did he have something to do with this? Because you know how in TV shows and movies where the serial killer is either in his home and he's either talking about, a family member or a ghost of that family member. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it always indicating that they either had something to do with that said person's murder, or it was an accident, right? Or somebody probably took out that person's family member. It's a lot of these things that we can kind of like speculate and kind of like throw off the wall here with like Carter and his character. But again, I think it's just gonna be one of those things where they talk about his family, he talks about his family for like a little bit, and then it's just, oh, that's it, and then he probably get killed off somewhere, and that's gonna be it. Because again, it's only like, what, I think two or three more episodes to go. So again, I just would have preferred if we would have had like a little bit more into the story. But who knows, we probably might get more into it, because frankly, I'm kind of curious if he actually did kill his family, and I want to know if was there any more other people that he actually killed. Because let me know in the comment section down below, like, do you think that Carter may probably kill Nico? Because let's just say Nico finds out about the truth. Well, I'm thinking two things. I'm thinking Carter, like, if Nico finds out about the truth, I'm thinking either he's just gonna go with it, like he don't care. I think he's just gonna probably like go with it, or Nico's gonna probably be like, even though I didn't like the guy, but he still was a good cop. I don't know. This don't sit right with me, because Carter's whole sense of justice is to, like, take down the people that he needs to take down, have leverage, and then also take money from the top. So his character and the way that he's doing things is all wrong. It's all wrong. But we're gonna have to see, because frankly, I would have preferred it if we would have had maybe more, but we know that shit ain't happening. But comment down below what you guys think of potentially if Carter probably maybe either had his family, either he killed his family, or he had his family got killed because of something that he did in the past, and he's going off of that narrative, and that changed him to being like a dark, corrupted cop. Because anything can happen to a person on if that said person either loses a dog, a family member, and then they could just, a light bulb could switch in their head. Or maybe was he taught? Did somebody put him on to being like a dirty cop? Right? Did they teach him? Did somebody like bring him on to the game of teaching him to be dirty? Like, there's a lot of these things that we could speculate and go off of here, but I don't know. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I catch you all next one.